Hello everyone, welcome to this month's edition of North Central Outdoors. I'm your host, Nathan Karch. It's been a while, but it's great to be back. First, I want to talk to you a little bit about the 24-25 deer season. It was a really good deer season. We had a lot of big deer being harvested, which is great to see. This state has become known for its big mature whitetail bucks, and it used to not be. So that's really good. I think that has to do with the 2-buck limit, and we're just seeing some really good deer. It was abnormally warm this time of year, or this past deer season. Probably the warmest that I can recall, and I'm normally a pretty cold-natured guy, but I honestly don't remember too many days that were just really chilly. So I know that had a factor on a lot of the deer movement. In addition to that, some of the numbers being down was just we did not have that late private lands antlerless only hunt that we usually see. The agency did away with that. The units that you once knew, like A, B, and L, those have been done away with. Our biologists restructured all those units, so it's kind of different, and there's regulations that go on with each. So some of that kind of restricted harvest there, but that's probably the new structure that we're going to be going with for the future. I'm not exactly sure why that got done the way it did, but we trust our biologists. They have the data, and hopefully, you know, they're doing it all for the greater good and whitetail management. Predator hunting. I know with deer season ending, everybody has kind of transitioned to something different to keep them out in the woods, and usually that is predator hunting. So they're getting ready for spring turkey, and so in order to keep those turkey populations really stable and healthy, a lot of people resort to trapping and predator hunting. So whether that be raccoon, bobcat, coyote, fox, all of that, you can do that this time of year. And we have incorporated a new nighttime coyote season. And I want to read these dates off so I don't get them wrong, because they're a little confusing. But the new dates, I apologize, let me find it right fast, is it's going to be January 18th through March 9th, and then it comes back in June 7th to August 10th. So those are the new nighttime coyote hunting regulations. Now, there are some restrictions on that. During daytime coyote hunting, you can hunt with centerfire rifles and everything like that. There's not a whole lot of restrictions, but there are now that it is being incorporated at night. So no single projectiles, shotgun only. So you've got to use either like turkey loads, waterfowl loads, something like that. Or you can actually use buckshot. We normally don't use or allow buckshot, but we do allow it now because it's not a single projectile. So you can use buckshot as well. You cannot use any type of lights that are mounted to a vehicle or cast from a public road. It's got to be on private property, and it can be weapon mounted or it can be a handheld device, just not on a vehicle. So night vision, thermal, or an actual spotlight, can be a green light, red light, whatever. You can have it weapon mounted, but that's just for coyote hunting. And you can take a bobcat. It's one bobcat per night. There's no limits on coyotes, but just one bobcat a night, and that runs through those dates that I previously mentioned. Also want to just briefly talk about some trapping. In order to do both predator hunting and trapping, you must have a combo hunt and fish, which is just your 001. It's like $36, or your sportsman's license. That will suffice. Or if you are a lifetime license holder, that also is good. But you have to have those licenses before you trap or predator hunt. Trapping is really big. Just make sure that your traps are marked with your TWRA ID number, and make sure that no other domesticated animals can get in those. Just do your due diligence to make sure all that those animals are safe. But raccoons and coyotes are big on people's list in preparation for turkey season. Definitely raccoons, they do a number on raiding turkey nests. So if you'll just get some what they call dog-proof traps, or a lot of times, you know, they just refer to them as common name is coon cuffs, but it's a little trap that you can get online. They run for 10, 15 bucks a piece. You can bait them with like cat food or marshmallows or cereal, and the raccoons will get their arm stuck in there, and that's a good way to trap them. The next thing I want to talk about is the National Wild Turkey Federation Convention in Nashville. It's held at the Opryland Hotel, and those dates will be from February 13th through the 15th. That's the Sportsman Show. So we will have a booth set up there. Hope you'll stop by and say hi, and maybe we can answer any questions that you might have. But again, that's February 13th through the 15th. The next thing that I would like to talk about is shed hunting. So also, in addition to predator hunting and trapping, a lot of people like to go shed hunting for whitetail antler sheds this time of year. Normally, February is when you see most antlers on the ground, but some big mature bucks will hold all the way up through April. It's based on a variety of factors, but the vast majority of them will hit the ground probably mid-February. So it's a good time to get outdoors and find those sheds, maybe of a buck that you were after the previous season, and it's really neat for a decoration or just having a set to reference if you were able to harvest them in the future. The best places that I've found to look for them are kind of on field edges, in bedding areas, and next to food sources, because that's where they spend the most amount of time is at those places. So wherever they frequent the most, that's usually where they're going to drop. The next thing is stand management. It is a fantastic time of year to do stand maintenance and management. A lot of people pull their stands. I would recommend pulling your stands if you're not 100% certain that you're going to hunt that specific area next year. Go ahead and pull them. That way they're not just in the elements, and they're safe. But if you plan on leaving them out there year round, just make sure that they're well maintained. Make sure there's no rust or cracks or anything like that. You can replace bolts, cables. Make sure that they're safe for the next deer season. And this time of year, because all the vegetation is dormant, it's great to get out there and look at new stand locations, maybe set up a stand in a place that you wanted to try, and you can actually see those shooting lanes clear as day because there's no leaves or vegetation you know, in the understory or mid-story. So you can also clear your shooting lanes a lot easier just because of that. So I encourage you to get out there, do some stand maintenance and management, and I promise you it will be much better for the next deer season because you won't have to worry about it right when deer season hits. You're like, oh, I got to get a stand up there. Well, they're already out there, so you can just go hunt, and you're not pressuring deer. You're not, you know, spreading scent in certain areas. It's much better to do it that way. The next thing, spring fishing. A lot of people are fishing for crappie, sauger, walleye, and all three of those species are doing really, really well right now. They're very active. People are catching them like crazy. Just be mindful of the license requirements. It's the same as I mentioned before for predator hunting. Just your combo hunt fish, 001, or you can do your sportsman's license, or if you're a lifetime license holder, you can do that as well. I wanted to revert back a little bit on the predator hunting. Make sure that you do have hunter education before you get out there and hunt. You're not exempt just because you're small game hunting or predator hunting. So you can get on the NRA website and you can just take that class completely for free. It's a one and done thing. It's recognized throughout the U.S. So if you were to go anywhere else in the U.S. and hunt, they'll recognize the Tennessee certification. You can save your progress as you go, and again, it's free. So make sure to knock that out before you go hunting. And finally, we'll save turkey season for next segment, but I do want to mention morel mushrooms because turkey season and morels go hand in hand. They are one of nature's delicacies, and so as you prepare for spring turkey, just be mindful those morels are popping up, and it's really, really fun to go hunting for those. And usually you'll find some sheds along the way because your eyes are geared towards something very, very small. And so you're out there, you're looking for these little bitty mushrooms, and it's easy to spot sheds and deadheads and stuff like that. But prep your eyes and everything like that for for those morel mushrooms. I personally, I don't even like mushrooms, and I love morels because they're really meaty. They don't require a whole lot of preparation or anything like that. You can throw them in a skillet, put some butter and salt on there, and you're ready to rock and roll. So I hope everybody gets an opportunity to go outdoors and just enjoy God's creation. It's a wonderful place. It's where you find peace and much less stress in your life. So get out there, be smart, be safe. We'll see you next time.